It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. Today is Wednesday, April 8th, 2025. I'm Dan O'Malley. He is Trey Trenholm. Happy hump day, Trey.
That has too many subtle meanings with you.
It does typically, but there's nothing weird going on by me saying happy hump day, at least not today. I just mean it generally and authentically. Happy hump day. Happy Wednesday. Does that make you feel better? Happy Wednesday, Trey.
A little bit.
There's nothing loaded in the statement at all. But I do appreciate the fact that my words have given you PTSD over the years. You've given me so much power, and I appreciate it. And now I'm going to use those words to bludgeon you with massive amounts of stupid today. Yeah. And I can't think of a better way to start today's show than with this very uplifting story. Hang on, let me see here. All righty, here we go. There is a man. There's almost always a man. In this case, it's not Florida, though. There are many times in my life where I see a story and I think, yeah, this is a story I need to share with my buddy Trey, because it's going to be a doozy. And that's this one. A man with a lengthy criminal history is facing multiple felony charges for allegedly shoplifting more than $20,000 worth of merchandise from Walmart stores across North Georgia. His name is Speedy Gonzales.
Seriously?
Yeah. I know I should have made this a believe it or not, but it was too good to draw it out that much. Gainesville police arrested 40-year-old Speedy Gonzales. Yes, that's his real name, after identifying him on surveillance footage at a Walmart in March in North Georgia. Speedy is accused of carrying out a series of thefts at stores in Hall, Barrow, Gwinnett, Habersham, White, and Lumpkin counties. According to Gainesville police, they say he does have a criminal history in Gainesville, Georgia. And again, he's someone that we've dealt with numerous times. Investigators say Speedy Gonzales used a simple but effective method to conceal his thefts. He allegedly stuffed high-priced smaller items such as nicotine products, diabetic test strips, and gum into larger containers like trash cans or mailboxes. Then at checkout, he would pay only for the large item and leave the store with the concealed merchandise, something I think we all could recognize as the Trojan horse method. Hiding something small inside the big thing to then carry out your nefarious plan.
To rack up to 20 grand in theft by that method, that's putting in some work.
It is. That takes a lot of work. That's a lot of effort to steal that amount of goods from Walmart, especially when so much of it's smaller. Now, I think some of the nicotine products, this is sort of like a supermarket sweep, the old game show that used to come on, and you would have a certain amount of time to grab as much product as you could to throw it in your grocery cart, and whoever ended up with the highest grocery bill would win. That's kind of like what this guy seemed like he was doing, except he had never paid for any of it.
Hey, poor Speedy. Kudos to his parents, though.
It's a serious sense of humor. And again, this is not Speedy Gonzales' first run-in with the law. That came in 2020 when Gwinnett County arrested him for stealing checks from a mailbox and attempting to use them to purchase $3,000 worth of merchandise at Home Depot. So clearly he is a retail menace. Following this most recent arrest, Speedy Gonzales was initially booked into the Hall County Jail. He's currently being held in Barrow County as authorities across North Georgia work together to pursue additional charges. Police also say his accomplice, Slowpoke Rodriguez, is still on the run.
but can't catch up to Speedy.
But they can't catch him.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you love guns or hunting, you're going to love Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors Shooting Center is 43,000 square feet of guns, gun range, and gun fun. Firearms, ammo, apparel, accessories, and more. Have a bachelor party, birthday, or team building event? All-inclusive packages available for endless entertainment. Training classes are added weekly, and private instruction is always available. Come see why Defender has been voted the best gun range in North Texas 5 years in a row. Visit us at DefenderOutdoors.com. Defender Outdoors. Are you a Defender?
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors is Fort Worth's premier indoor gun range. While you're there, check out 6,000 square feet of retail space stocked with your favorite brands of guns, ammo, gear, optics, knives, more. Outstanding, knowledgeable retail associates to help you with your purchase. It is open to the public, but membership does unlock some exclusive features at an affordable price. So we recommend here in the Treehouse to check out Defender Outdoors in Fort Worth and use code Treehouse for discounts in-store and online. Use code Treehouse in-store and online at Defender Outdoors. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley. He is Trey Trenholm. Today is Wednesday, April 8th. 2025. Trey and I, we both have jobs here inside the Treehouse. We have our Treehouse jobs. I also have a job on the side as a wedding officiant, and Trey has his main / side gig as a bar manager, a high-end bar manager. None of that nasty stuff. Only the good stuff for our man Trey. But if we were looking for a new job, there are some things that we need to be aware of. So that's what we're going to help you with right now inside the Treehouse. That is, if you are looking for a new job, you need to listen up, because there are some new tactics that hiring managers are using to decide whether or not you get the job. Okay? One is the salt and pepper test. Have you heard of the salt and pepper test, deciding whether or not you get a job?
I have not.
According to this test, HR managers have used to decide whether or not to give someone a job based on whether or not they season their food before they've even tasted it. So if you're at a job interview that's happening over lunch or dinner or even breakfast, if you season your food before you've even tasted it, some HR managers see that as a red flag and may not consider you for the job because of it. They have their own reasonings for it, but a lot of it has to do with basically being impulsive, among other things. But they just see it as it's a red flag. And now you know. So if you're looking for a job, beware the salt and pepper test. They even go so far as to say that the test is not new, but because of social media, people are kind of panicking over this, what they think to be is a new tactic. One of the original stories that people heard about the salt and pepper test was two young men applying for a job at a Fortune 500 company. One of the men went to Harvard, one went to Yale. They were both exceptional in every way and numerous references to vouch for their character. They were both so good the CEO couldn't decide which one to hire. And since there was only one job, only one could be hired. So he invited him to dinner to see if he could figure out which was the best candidate. When the food arrived, one of the men put salt and pepper on his food, while the other man took a small bite of each on his dish, then added salt and pepper. The CEO knew right then and there that the man who tasted his food first was the one who should get the job. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I understand the reasoning behind it. I mean, some people would just go, I know food is never salted enough, and that's why they're doing it. But yeah, in general, you should always try your food first before you add salt or pepper to it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Unless, of course, you're able to check that disability box and tell them, so you're excluding me because of my taste bud disability. It sounds like a dumb thing, but honest to God, I think my brother-in-law has it. Because my brother-in-law is Vietnamese, and so he grew up on eating severely spicy food. So spicy that I think he's burned through a majority of his taste buds to where he can't eat something and taste it unless it's through the roof spicy. So like at Thanksgiving, he has a a little side dish of hot peppers. And I don't mean hot peppers like white guy hot peppers.
Right.
I mean like Asian dude hot peppers.
Mhm.
And he'll have little bits of it on every single bite of turkey. I tried one bite once and I still won't touch his food. It's been years. So if you have a lunch interview, dinner interview, beware the salt and pepper test. And look, finding a job nowadays is hard enough without trying to think about all the sneaky ways that you're being tested. But I guess it's kind of the reality of things nowadays. It's not just so much whether or not you're qualified, it's how you eat your food.
Yeah, it seems like a bit much, but it is what it is.
There is another test. This one is the coffee test to decide whether or not you get a job. Okay. In this trick was described by an Australian boss whose name is Trent Ennis. And he said he always takes prospective employees for a walk to the kitchen, to the break room for a drink. He calls it the coffee cup test, but it doesn't matter if it's coffee or not. It could be tea, water, whatever. What he's looking for is what you do with your cup after the interview. So what he says is, we take the drink back to the office, we have our interview, and one of the things I'm always looking for at the end of the interview is, does the person doing the interview want to take that empty cup back to the kitchen and clean it? Or at least put it back in the kitchen. He says the reasoning is because it highlights whether or not you're a team player, if you're considerate or not, and if you care about the small things. Is this too much?
That I understand. Like, because just service industry, you interview people, you know, they get a glass of water, whatever. It is very telling on if they're going to clean up after themselves, or you know, if they realize that if they leave that glass there, they're creating work for somebody else. So I get that one.
Mm-hmm. I remember, this reminds me, early on in his career, Dak Prescott did something like this on the sideline during a game. He was on the bench, and he had just finished a cup of Gatorade, and he wadded it up and threw it over his shoulder towards the trash can. And this was all caught on television.
It got intercepted.
No, this was early in his career. He did miss the trash can, which is about 3 feet wide. He missed the trash can, but instead of leaving it on the ground, in a testament to Dak Prescott's character, he stood up from the bench, walked over, picked up the cup, and threw it in the trash can. And that says a lot about his character. Now, you're right, Trey. He still missed the initial throw, and that should have been a huge red flag for us as Cowboys fans. But at least we know he's a good person.
Yeah,
he can't hit a wide open trash can with a Gatorade cup, but he'll at least pick it up for you afterwards.
Did Zeke pop out when he threw the trash can, the cup in?
He tried, but he got hurt.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Let's get Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the Treehouse. Their number for your free roof inspection, 833-COOK-DFW, the website cookdfw.com. The RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation exists to help the families of fallen DFW police officers and firefighters killed in the line of duty. And we've been very fortunate over the years to partner with some outstanding companies wanting to help. And today we get to add Cook DFW's name to that list of excellent sponsors to the foundation, because Daniel, you and your wife, Carrie, have said, you know what? We love our community and we want to do something to give back to our first responders in DFW, right?
Dan, that's absolutely correct. And, you know, truth be known, Carrie has given to the foundation for quite so many years, but now at a company level, I think we are wanting to definitely, you know, beef that up and start giving back to the foundation. And it's unfortunately, this is a foundation nobody wants to have to donate to, but it's the real world is that these things do happen. And it's the type of foundation that you don't want around, but you definitely want it to be, you know, available to the families that need it. And so over the next couple of months, you know, a portion of all the proceeds from the work done from Treehouse listeners that call in and let us know that they heard about you on the show, we're going to be donating to the RMS Treehouse Listeners Foundation and making sure that we can keep that very stable in the accounting side and have funds available that when the families need it, it's going to be there. So we're very fortunate to be a part of the organization, and we look forward to trying to assist and help as much as we can.
Not only a company that cares about you as a client, but Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration also cares about its first responders in our communities. So give them a call for your roofing and restoration needs. 833-COOK-DFW. 833-COOK-DFW. Make sure you tell them you heard about him in the Treehouse, and the website, cookdfw.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse Show is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. To get your free roof inspection and to get yourself on the very important Cook list, call Daniel Cook today, 833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW. Check to see if your roof withstood the last storm and if it is ready to withstand the next storm. 833-COOK-DFW or the website cookdfw.com. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley. He is Trey Trenholm. Today is Wednesday, April 8th, 2025. We were just talking about some of the tests that hiring managers will put prospective employees through, which I don't know. Like I've had interviews before, but in my recent work history, with radio stuff, it hasn't been so much about how you do in an interview or whether or not there's an interview. It's just whether or not the person you're meeting with knows you already, and someone's already recommended you for a job. Like the previous 2 radio jobs I had, it wasn't even an interview. It was more of a formality to come in and do paperwork because it was already happening.
Yeah.
That being said, in my younger career, I thought I was pretty good at doing job interviews. How about you, Trey? You've had to do them more recently with, actual interview questions and things.
I think I've always done pretty well. I try not to overthink it. Stories like that would, if I really thought about them too much, then I would probably really hurt myself and trying to overanalyze everything I said and did. I mean, but honestly, one of the biggest things, especially in this day and age, when I interview people, my number one thing, do they show up on time?
Yes. And it seems to us like that would just be a given. And it would be the exception that someone show up late to an interview, but I kind of get the idea that's not the case with the people you've interviewed.
No, it's especially not picking on Gen Z, but they are not good about being on time.
It's not their fault, Trey. They can't read clocks.
No, that is true. but they can just ask Siri to set them an alarm.
That is true. That is true. There does need to be a fair amount of accountability. Now, part of the reason I bring this up is because I'm always fascinated by people that work in HR. My previous job at iHeartRadio, I dealt with HR on a few occasions, not because I was in trouble, but things happen. Sometimes you have to answer questions. But an HR lady has gone viral. A woman who works in HR has gone viral for listing some of the craziest things that she's had to fire people for. You want to hear a couple?
I would love to.
All right, here we go. So here is this HR lady who's gone viral sharing some of the crazy things that she's had to fire people for.
First guy was napping in his car from 10 a.m. till almost 1 every single day. He had been doing this for like 4 months straight, but I ended up firing him by knocking on his door because we were trying to find him and he was AWOL, and he opened the door and he was so shocked and he could not believe that he was getting fired for sleeping 3 hours every single day.
Real quick, I wouldn't mind defending this guy only because I'm curious. Was he really not doing his job, or was he doing so much work between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. that he was tired and needed to go sleep? So maybe he got all his work done. He was just, napping in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I'm sure that was it. He was so productive in 1 hour that, yeah.
He needed to sleep for 3.
Yeah.
Here's another example of a reason she had to fire somebody.
An employee had just gotten a verbal warning, so not even a written anything, about stealing company supplies because he was loading cases of toilet paper into his vehicle. He got really upset and went straight into, we had this big glass meeting room where all the execs were meeting, turned around, dropped his pants, and stuck his butt against the window.
I was about to say, I've done some of these things that she's talking about. I have stolen supplies from work and taken them home for my personal use. I'd see what else. What was the first thing she mentioned? The sleeping. I've slept at work before. Now, again, working in radio and entertainment and things, we can get away with more. You can, like, I had an office, and there were times where I didn't feel good, so I would close the door, lock it, turn the lights off, and take a little power nap.
Well, I think a power nap is one thing. 3 hour sleep is totally different.
Yeah, I never slept through the job.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if we were on the air at 3:00, I might sleep till about 2:45, then get up and do my thing. I wouldn't sleep till 4. I've also never mooned. I've never mooned everybody in the conference room. So that's one thing I haven't done that she mentioned there. But as I go through my work history, my work experience, and I think about the people that I've worked with over the years, things that they've done, things that I've done, some of these things that she's going viral for really aren't that crazy to me.
I mean, no, there's no firearms involved.
There's no firearms involved. You're right. You know what is crazy though? Peeing in their corner, not once, but twice, and not getting fired. That's crazy. Calling management idiots and not getting fired. That's crazy. Pissing off clients and not getting fired. I think that would count. Cutting your own internet line when working remotely and not getting fired. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Not showing up for 8 months straight and not getting fired.
That's sleeping through a month of work.
Mm-hmm. He had the best job in the world and he ruined it by dying.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Rest in peace, buddy.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You can get even more Treehouse when you subscribe to Treehouse Plus. That means bonus content, subscriber-only episodes, including video of this here show. All can be yours when you subscribe to Treehouse Plus. Do that by going to patreon.com/treehouseonair, Patreon, patreon.com/treehouseonair, and subscribe to Treehouse Plus today. I'm Dan O'Malley. He's Trey Trenholm. This is the Treehouse Show. It's Wednesday, April 8th, 2025. Happy hump day with no loaded sentiment behind it whatsoever. Just happy Wednesday. See, Trey, there's nothing loaded in there. You're fine.
Sure.
We've got to work on our trust issues. You know what you need? You need an emotional support animal. Maybe that'll help you with your PTSD and dealing with me over the 20 years we've known each other. Would Daisy, your Chihuahua, would she, do you have emotional support papers on her? Or do you just hold her up and everyone just kind of says, yeah, okay, go ahead. Because she's that adorable.
I've never had anyone really give me any grief about her.
I feel like Daisy is everyone's emotional support Chihuahua.
Yeah. If Daisy doesn't bring a smile to your face, then there's just something wrong with you.
That is the ultimate litmus test. You're right. If you don't smile when you see Daisy, there's something severely wrong with you.
Yeah. Or, and I'll say this, over the years, she has been 100%. The very few people she's ever come across that she did not like, they turned out to not be good people.
Interesting. Who was it? Can you tell me? Do I know who it was?
No, you don't know any of them.
All right. Damn it. All right. Well, it's good to know that there actually are people out there. So it really does work as an actual red flag test.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of emotional support animals, a Nevada man got in trouble recently because of his emotional support tigers. You heard that? Yeah, you heard that correctly. A Nevada man was arrested after officials seized 7 tigers that he claimed as his emotional support tigers. I would have a difficult time trying to think of a worse animal to have as an emotional support animal than a tiger. Maybe emotional support moose. I mean, because if you're talking about whether it's dangerous or just completely ridiculous, I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to find something dumber than a tiger.
Well, I really feel like that an emotional support cat of any type is an oxymoron at best, because
they don't care about your feelings.
No, they're not here to support your emotions.
No.
You know?
Animal welfare workers recovered the tigers in cages at Pa Rump, the home of longtime big cat handler Carl Mitchell, last Wednesday. Pa Rump is a real town, and it's just outside Death Valley National Park. Now, Mr. Mitchell claimed he had obtained 6 of the 7 large cats from incarcerated zookeeper Joseph Allen Maldonado. And if that name sounds familiar to you, that's because he's better known as Joe Exotic from the Netflix docuseries The Tiger King. That was so popular during the pandemic.
You know, I knew as you're reading the story, I'm like, that's Tiger King has got to be tied in somewhere to this.
Now, here's an interesting twist, as if keeping 7 emotional support tigers on your property illegally in Nevada wasn't a twist enough. Joe Exotic himself has come out publicly to denounce any involvement with this man and his tigers. From jail at the federal medical facility in Fort Worth, Joe Exotic denied giving anyone tigers. He said, "You need to quit slandering me on television before you do your research. None of these tigers came from me," he said. This is what he released on X/Twitter. He says, "Until you want a real story, leave my name out of it." The 62-year-old Kansas native is currently serving a 21-year sentence at the federal medical facility in Fort Worth. In 2019, he was convicted of 19 counts of wildlife crimes and 2 counts relating to a murder-for-hire case of rival zoo operator Carol Baskin. So 7 tigers seized from a man in Pahrump, Nevada. He claims they were emotional support tigers he got from Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic, from federal prison, publicly states, "Nuh-uh, this has nothing to do with me."
Why does a prisoner have an X account?
Great question. Great question. Why is he tweeting?
Yeah.
Or Xing or whatever it is that Elon calls it from his platform? But yeah, no, he says, no, these have nothing to do with me. I want nothing. This is no connection to me whatsoever. Vehemently denying it. I'm not sure he denied the murder for hire plot against Carol as hard as he's denying this, which would explain the reason why he's in jail for 21 years. But again, I'm gonna go back to my original point. Of all the animals on this planet, this man chose tigers to be his emotional support animals. I mean, that's a level of ridiculous that even you and I, Trey, here inside the Treehouse can respect and appreciate.
Again, I mean, if you're looking for emotional support from a cat, you have issues that are so much deeper.
You are beyond help.
Yeah. Even the cat's going, yeah, no. Go to the alligator.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
It is time to advertise here inside the Treehouse. Sponsorship opportunities are available. If you're interested, just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com. That's treehouseonair@gmail.com to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan. He's Trey. Today is April 8th, 2025. Let's celebrate today, Hump Day, with some what? What are you looking at me like that for?
I think today's the 9th.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh man, I've been saying the wrong date all day. Thanks for catching it 5 segments in.
Yeah, you know.
All right. Today is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. So Gen Z can't read clocks, and me as Gen X, I can't read a calendar.
But you're of an age now, you can just blame it on your eyesight.
All right. It's because of my eyes. That's the problem. Let's celebrate today with some birthdays. Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. He played Bran Stark on Game of Thrones. His actual name is Isaac Hempstead Wright. He's 26 today. Trey, you said you watched, what was it, the first season of Game of Thrones, but no more?
Yeah.
I don't know what account does it, but I've seen a few videos online where someone will take from some AI platform, they'll take an established show and turn it on its head. And someone did that with Game of Thrones. They did an AI generated Game of Thrones intro, but as like a sitcom, I think. And so it had all the AI generated images of all the characters and their faces. It was really, really good. And actually, because Game of Thrones is so high drama, high stakes, people dying left and right, it's extremely gory and violent and just not kid friendly whatsoever. So taking that show and making it look like a sitcom, pretty funny, especially knowing some of the storylines that happened with some of those people. So if you ever get a chance to see some of those, watch them. They're very, very good. Other birthdays today. Elle Fanning turns 27. That is Dakota Fanning's younger sister. Elle Fanning is Princess Aurora on Maleficent and the sequel. And she's also Catherine the Great on Hulu's The Great. Elle Fanning turns 27 today. Stone-faced Kristen Stewart is 35. She's probably best known as what's her name in the Twilight movies.
We did this last time.
Did we?
Yeah, we can never remember.
Her character, Belle. She played Belle or Bella. Is that my dog's name?
Bella.
Oh, now I regret naming my dog Bella. Anyway, Kristen Stewart, the actress, is 35. Wait, let me double check. Yeah, 35 today. Kristen Stewart, 35 today. There was another movie she was in. I can't remember the name of it. I didn't see it, and I don't think anybody else did, where it was her in some sort of research facility at the bottom of the ocean and a scary monster thing is happening. I don't know about you, but I've seen a version of that movie no less than 3 times. And Hollywood seems to revisit that trope on a pretty regular basis.
All right. Speaking of complete sidebar, because the number one of those movies for me is kind of Abyss.
Okay. Number 2 for me is Leviathan, I think.
Okay. But have you ever read how awful shooting The Abyss was? Like, to the point where the cast will not talk about it. Like,
I'm not sure if I knew this. So this was James Cameron directed The Abyss, right?
I think so. But what's his name? Played
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Yep.
Like, nearly died because of one of the swimming scenes and holding his breath too long, and how cold and miserable it was. And like, evidently that scarred that cast for life.
That really speaks volumes to me, because Ed Harris is no wimpy man.
Mm-mm.
That is a man's man. He is a manly actor. It's Ed freaking Harris. So if Ed Harris won't talk about it, it was that bad, and he had issues with things on the set, then it must have been bad.
If you ever want, it's an interesting read to go read and it's just bits and pieces, because again, the cast really won't talk about it, but evidently filming that movie was quite traumatic.
Interesting. And again, we're talking about James Cameron, who directed The Abyss. And it seems, I guess it kind of makes sense. I mean, you're talking about a guy that spent a lot of his life at the bottom of the ocean floor. So maybe that's where he feels most comfortable. Away from people and on the bottom of the ocean.
I mean, I can relate to the man, but you don't have to kill other people to do it. And DiCaprio would have died if that was the case.
Oh yeah, that is very true. Yeah. But yeah, if you show up to work and you're looking around at all the people that you're in charge of that day and say, you know what, after this is done, I think I'm going to take a vacation 2 miles to the bottom of the ocean floor just to look for stuff. I think that says some things about you.
Yeah.
It says some things about us that we think that what's it like this time of year? Do they have an all-inclusive plan?
Yeah.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Be sure to check us out on YouTube. You can enjoy some of the clips that we post known as Treehouse TV. So look for us on YouTube. YouTube.com/@TreehouseOnAir is the URL. You can go directly to it. YouTube.com/@TreehouseOnAir, or just go to YouTube and search for The Treehouse Show, The Treehouse Show podcast, or Treehouse TV, all of that, and enjoy Treehouse TV right there on YouTube. This is The Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley. He's Trey Trenholm. Today is still Wednesday, April 9th, 2025, now that I've got that correct. There was a really, really fun story that happened the other day. Fun for us, not necessarily for the people involved in it. And yeah, it happened in Florida. A man flipped out after being denied a free refill at a kid's lemonade stand. I mean, come on. A 45-year-old man in Florida named Stephen Cusimano stopped at a kid's lemonade stand on Tuesday last week. He bought one glass of lemonade, downed it, and then got mad when they wouldn't give him a free refill. There was an adult woman at the stand with several of these kids, and Stephen, the suspect, confronted her and grabbed her by the wrist aggressively, according to the police report, and was standing in a fighting stance, threatening to beat her up. He eventually walked away, and the woman called the police. They tracked him down and arrested him. He confirmed the woman's story, but he felt justified because he said he grabbed her because she was talking crap to him. He didn't use the word crap. He said something else, but he felt justified that since she was speaking all sorts of things to him, that he was allowed to grab her in an aggressive manner and get into a fighting stance and threaten to beat her up in front of a bunch of kids after being denied a free refill at the kids' lemonade stand.
Probably paid like $1 for a glass of lemonade, and then he mad at his free refills.
Yep. Okay, two things. Number one, what was in that lemonade? I mean, that sounds good. If you're willing to fight people, if you're willing to fight children for a free refill, that's got to be some good lemonade.
Yeah, well, I mean, is it? Because if it was that good, wouldn't you just paid for the refill?
Maybe, unless there's some sort of lemonade tariff going on that I'm not aware of, driving up the cost of lemonade. Look, if it's $45 for a cup of lemonade, I can understand demanding a free refill.
Fair enough, yeah.
But you're right. If it's $1 and it's just these little kids, doing their kid lemonade stand, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if kids lemonade stands do shot specials.
Yeah.
Although if they did, Florida would be the place.
Oh yeah, there'd be a line. But you just go, hey, would you do that at a Waffle House? I don't think so.
Oh,
here's the test.
Trey, you've just touched on something new, because when I was a kid, it was the wristband "What Would Jesus Do" test. So I like the new 21st century version of it is, would you do this at a Waffle House? Let that be the barometer by which you live your life.
Go lay hands on the Waffle House person, see what happens.
Did you ever hear the story about the man that laid hands on the Waffle House cook? No, you haven't. Okay, I think we should get some wristbands made.
That'd be yellow.
For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. Be sure to find and follow us on social media. For the show, it's at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. We'll see you tomorrow, right back here inside the Treehouse.